Hey fangirl, how's it going? Ooh. Doing better myself over my sinus infection and just plugging away. She's got this, like, it's not really a cyborg hand, but it's like cybernetics on it, like her face. So there's this little, weird stuff there. This is a really old Sideshow item. Like, really old from what I understand. Hey Raz, what's going on? You got the 3D files of this statue, or you just got 3D files of 7 and 9? Really? They made a copy of this? That's interesting, because this was a premium format from Sideshow, so I took off all the cloth and I re-sculpted out all the outfit onto her. It's going to be the gray and blue version of her. That's kind of weird. Maybe my OBS is screwing up, because I have two profiles on OBS, one for YouTube, one for Picardo, and I just switched over to YouTube. I wonder if maybe OBS screwed something up. It's a possibility. Yeah, alright. That's interesting. So they got the file, huh? Wow. I'm pretty sure someone probably maybe 3D scanned it. That's probably what happened. Sanded the hell out of this, and there's still stuff I'm missing. Try to clean it up a little bit more. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. I'll have to maybe take a look if I get a chance. I figure with this 3D scanning, all this stuff is going to be scanned in sooner or later, so... Did a lot of prep work yesterday when I was working on some other stuff, but I figured I didn't get all of it. Of course I didn't. That's what happens when I do these customs sometimes. Sorry about the AC on, it's friggin' hot as hell today, so... That's good, at least you're moving along on it. Any good tools you picking up? what's up, new guys? The 7 or 9 is a Sideshow Collectibles premium format. It was done years and years ago. Somebody had me take the cloth off, and I'm just resculpted it, and now I'm gonna paint it up. It's gonna be the blue and gray version. So a very old premium format, like we're talking back when Sideshow was starting to do them. I think there was a gray version, well, the silver version, and the red version. This was the red one, so I just ripped off the cloth. I was going to do a work in progress video of it, and I sort of started it, but I didn't finish it because I got so much other crap going on. So I'm pretty sure if you go on eBay you can find a couple of them. So when I took off the cloth, I had to resculpt the chest area. I had to resculpt this also ab area, clean up the legs. I made the hand removable with a magnet, and then I took the symbol from the outfit and I attached that there. Yeah, it was a long old bust. It's way back before. I think it was all hand sculpted too, head, so it wasn't a 3D sculpt. Yeah, I just gotta clean it up a little bit more. I did a lot of cleaning yesterday, but I'm missing a couple areas. But I had some other work to get done yesterday, so I couldn't put a lot of time in this. Kicked on the fan, take some of the dust in. Normally I would do this in the garage, but if I was to do it right now, I'd probably be pouring with sweat. It's like 100 out today. Yeah, whoever sculpted the face on this one did a really good job. It's not a bad head sculpt. It's actually really good. It's just that the cloth that they did was kind of meh. But it's old items, so they got better over time. But then again, it's an old statue, so usually old statues with cloth, they usually go to hell after a few years. Because it's not really good cloth, it's just like cheap stuff. So sometimes the fabric stretches, other times it starts to yellow. That's why I'm not a fan of fabric too much. Only for capes. Anything good, Iceman? You getting your stuff done? Yeah, when they were, back when Sideshow first started, they were doing a lot of stuff that no one else was, so I guess you could call it growing pains. Plus the factories got better, technology, they probably got better understanding of what to do, so... I guess that's why you don't see a lot of full fabric statues from Sideshow anymore. Too much of a hassle, I guess. They just stick to the capes. Okay. Yeah, shockingly, I didn't have to do anything to the face or the head. It was pretty well done. Just mostly this stuff. See if I'm just missing anything. Yeah, so what I had to do is I had to rebuild the neckline here. I did a seam line down here because it's kind of like an outfit. I also did a seam line in the legs. Added little wrinkles. But I'm going to give it like a speckle blue type outfit. So that's going to be interesting how to pull that off. Oh, you got them all done, Iceman? How'd they turn out? Yeah, the older stuff goes up in price because it's harder to find the stuff, and I guess a lot of people call it the OG stuff. Yeah, I don't know if she's really worth that. I guess you got to look at sold auctions to see what they've been selling for. For all I know, they could be that price. Now, I'm not like super perfect capturing like realistic faces, so the guy knows that I won't be able to match it, make her look super real. But I think the way it's sculpted, it'll look like her. That's good. Glad it worked out for you. Alright, so let's start coloring these in. Shego should be fairly simple, only because it's just a little face. We gotta try to get in there and shade it up. a little bit of a weird hand position for her. I'm not really sure if that's like how she stands. I'm not really a Star Trek person, so I don't know. But I mean, it's a good sculpt in that sense. But if you're a Star Trek fan, maybe you know more than me. Right now I'm just going to keep splattering color all over the place just to kind of start getting some stuff around. And then we'll start trying to at least detail it up a bit. I'm going to try to keep working with the sculpt. It is a good sculpt. Okay. So yeah, like I said, I'm pretty sure, I figured it had to do something with the character. I just thought it was weird. Yeah, so I don't have a blending process. I just kind of slap paint all over, work with the sculpt, and keep layering until I'm happy with it. And if I see any mess ups, I'll have to fix it as I go. Yeah, because it would have been a nightmare to paint the hand that way, so that's why I made it removable. This one I didn't because I thought it was fine the way it is. Hey, what's up, Rukin? Iceman, you're gonna have to get a better printer. You need to get yourself a 10K one. See, this color is what I missed from Golden. This was their burnt sienna hue. This is my last bottle. I always love this for shading, like mix it with my skin tones. They actually gave me the formula when I called them up, so I actually have the formula. I should do a video on how to make this, because I need to, you know, I'm only down to like this much or so, and I just love this shade. I gotta make more. They gave me a formula because they said they discontinued the color. so I have to get the colors and mix it up. They gave me, it's like 1 part this, 2 part that, 3 part this or something. So, gotta start making my own. The burnt sienna they have, just regular burnt sienna, is okay, but it's too red. The sienna hue is a little bit better. That's not good. What were you working on? Anything good? Alright, that's good. Yeah, it seems like 7 or 9 is a popular character. So I think this is the first Star Trek character that I've been asked to do. Not that it was much, it was just more take cloth off and re-sculpt it, so... I know she's got pale skin, not super pale, but, and she really doesn't have eyeshadow, so gotta make sure I don't try to make her overboard. Right now I'm just doing transparency flesh tone, kind of spraying it down. They really didn't put a lot of makeup on her until like later episodes, right? does have at least some not eyeshadow, but she's got darker eyelashes, the one pic I'm looking at. Yeah, I still use garage kits that I have. Sadly, every time I contact Jesse from Garage Kits, he never has anything in stock, so this one I'm using Garage Kits because I needed to do some sand work ahead of time, because doing these anime kits, sometimes even though I think I prep them, I still don't prep them. But for her, the Garage Kits is a little bit more pale, which I'm going for. But I started buying up, let's see, show you. So, P3 formula. If I can find the bottle. So, I had to find an alternative because I need to do some projects. P3 formula, which is Privateer, they have these Midlund flesh and this rind flesh. So this stuff is kind of like a little bit more of that tanner color. This one, just got to mix it up and you get that tanner color in there. And this is a little bit more of the paler, but it's not like Garage Kits, where Garage Kits has a little bit more kind of orangey. So I've been picking up these for flesh tones because I need to have something. And they actually go pretty well, except the bottles are expensive. But try the Formula P3. Citadel's Formula P3s are not bad. So I've been using. I've been mixing up my own batches of colors. But if you go to some of the Citadel's, they do have like sort of flesh tones. But the flesh wash from P3 Formula is a really great flesh wash. If you're into doing washes on your items, check out their flesh wash. But it does go on very, very heavy though, so you got to be kind of careful with it. But so I've been kind of mixing up my own little bottles and stuff. And then finally, I picked up on. So for a while there, Amazon didn't have any empty bottles, but I actually found all these empty bottles. So these are almost like the golden stuff. So I picked up bottles with a marble too, and now I can actually mix. I wish they were clear, but for 20 bucks I got like 20 of them, 30 of them, something like that. And then I got a whole bunch of these. No, they're not airbrush ready. You do have to thin them down. So what I like to do is I have my water bottle. So this is like 10% alcohol, 71%, and the rest is water. So I just use this to thin down my paints and I'm fine. I know some people like to use retarders or thinners, but I just use water for my acrylics with some alcohol, you know. Yeah, just get some 71% alcohol, and that's what I use to thin down my stuff. Well, it's not like Jesse's he's not stopping the paints. It's just he's waiting for the supply chains to get back in order. So we just got to kind of sit back and wait until they come in. Once they come in, I'll order another batch and I'll get stocked up again. But until then, I can't really do anything. I mean, I'm actually liking some of the other colors for specific projects now. So it's good to practice on these things. Yeah, that's why I contacted Jesse. We talked for a bit, and he says what's going on is there's all the paint companies are actually going into their storage warehouses to sell all the supply that they have on stock. But the problem is they're running out of that stock. So that's why I went on like eBay, Amazon, and I went to my local hobby store, and I dropped like $200 to $300 on paints because I figured the projects I got coming up, I better have some paint on hand because I don't want to sit there and like, you know, I can't get this, I can't get that. Now certain paints have a shelf life, but other ones don't. So like the Formula P3 and like the whatchamacallit, the Citadels, they seem to go okay as long as you take care of them. If you leave them open and stuff, then yeah, you'll run into issues. I never heard of that brand. Yeah, I mean, looking at my supplies, I've gotten a lot more Citadels, some more of the Formula P3s. It seems like the Model Air Vallejos I can find, but my garage kits are starting to dry up. And sadly, some garage kit colors have a shelf life. So if you have the color, and it starts clogging on you and it gets chunky, I guess that means it's on its way out. So that's something to be careful of. Yeah, I've had a couple colors gum up. I bought a couple colors back in the day. I think it was one of them was the African Flesh and one of them was the Burnt Umber, I think. And for some odd reason, those colors completely like turned into tar on me, and I never even opened the bottle. So I tried to buy stuff when I need it. That was kind of always the thing. I didn't like to overstock because even Tamiya paints, if you overstock on those, they will go bad on you. So I try to buy when I need it, but sadly these days it's kind of hard to run out and grab that color you need if it's... I'm gonna make her cheekbones pop a little bit. He didn't mind if I made her a little bit sexy, but not overly sexy. That's why I kind of worked out the booty a little bit more. I'll have to look into that place. Right now I'm kind of just blending colors, so I guess you can see. So right now I'm just kind of using some transparency Garage Kit flesh, some bright flesh, regular. This is a burnt sienna. I did put a couple drops of my burnt sienna hue in there for now, just to kind of darken up some areas. Like I say, I don't have a formula for what I do. I just kind of keep blending till I get it where I want. So in the camera, sorry about that. The camera, every time I touch this camera, it doesn't like the wire gets screwed up. Hopefully you got what I said. If not, just let me know. So she had like no sculpted eyebrows, so I gotta kind of fudge the eyebrows on her. But I also been using, I haven't done too much paintwork lately, but I did pick up a kit of the Freak Flex, the Badger Freak Flex transparencies, and I actually like these. Like the red tint, the maroon tint, the black. So these are almost like Garage Kit colors, but they're a little bit more watery, I guess. So, but the problem is I went on Amazon and like these sets were sold out. But if you could find these, check these out. These transparencies, they're actually not that bad. I also picked up a set of the golden transparencies, and actually I don't really like them. They're not really transparency, they're more like watered down solid colors. They're not like transparency. I don't know, I guess I gotta mess with them a little bit more. I mean, the shading gray is good, but they seem to be too potent. Alright. Pretty happy with that so far. I think we'll do some pastels, see what we can turn this into. But I want to give her some eyeshadow. Do a little bit more transparency. See, I love Garage Kit's semi-transparency Garage Kit Flesh, only because it dulls down the skin, but it doesn't overpower the skin. So you could kind of spray far away and sort of take away some blending without like going crazy if you spray it like a mist. So it's actually pretty good stuff. Hey, what's up, Ken? Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah, we're trying to get the 7 and 9 done for this client, so. It's a hot day, so it's a good day to paint. Yeah, I think the next best way of getting semi-transparent flesh, if you take the P3 formula and you water it down a little bit, you almost will get this. So it's actually worth checking it out to get some of that P3 formula stuff. It's a really good thick paint though, and it seems to be pretty, I wouldn't say it's super durable, but it's actually not bad. Like this bottle right here, I mixed up P3 formula, some Citadel, some Garage Kit, some Vallejo. So this is like a mixture of all different paints. And I think this was my Power Girl bottle. Yeah, if you saw my Power Girls I did, I think this was my bottle I used. So the paints come out really good. Oh, it's humid as here. Well, you can hear my AC going, but got no choice. Got to do it. Alright, so we're going to grab my pastels. So let's turn the camera down, hopefully you guys, we don't lose you. So you can see I got all my pastels. I'm going to bring it to the other desk, but so we got my kit here, which is completely going to hell. And then I got all my I just picked up a whole new batch of these. Got like a couple hundred of them. I like these white ones because they're soft, but they actually do go to hell. So it's, you just kind of throw them away after each use. And then I got all my other colors here. Where's my brush? Hope I didn't use my good brush. Oh, you gotta have an AC unit. Yeah, see, I got these ones here, these like brownish ones, but they don't go, they like break up too fast, so I don't use these this much. What happened to my good brush? Maybe I'm losing my mind. I have a clear, oh here it is, it's at the edge. It's kind of like my blush brush. I don't know why, I just used it forever. Oh. And I gotta order some more of these. I thought I ordered some, I guess I didn't. I use women's makeup because it's just easier. Just way easier than sitting there chopping chalk up. And plus, I don't like scraping pastels because sometimes you get like heavy chunks and sometimes you get lighter chunks. And I don't like the way those heavy chunks like get on your item. So, just a personal preference. Hey, what's up, Jacob? Alright. Now, back in the day, I bought this kit off eBay for $20. Probably now it's a little bit more expensive, but back then it was cheap as hell. So it's lasted me now for, let's see, 8 years now. Ken, Ninja Prince, is that like a site or something, or? So she doesn't have any really eye sockets, so I'm gonna like force the eye socket. Yeah, see, the only problem with these brushes, they go on good, but they start to crush on you. They're more or less for like dragging across the eye than to dab it. As far as sealing the makeup, there's a couple ways of doing it, but I usually use a Vallejo matte varnish. If you use Tester's Dull Coat, I find that Tester's Dull Coat will actually, like, if you spray it on too thick, it kind of bleeds your makeup. But if you use a Mecha Varnish, Vallejo, it goes on and seals it. So you got matte varnish, you got gloss varnish, and there's also oh, this is the satin. So there is a matte. There's 3 of them. So you could spray this through the airbrush. You want to thin it down a little bit, but not too much, and then you can seal your pastels. You just you can go out of the bottle with these, but they will kind of clog it up. Yeah, this is what I use to flatten everything now. So I can actually spray an item down. I do it with all my flesh tones. Let's see. So, say I did her whole body in flesh tone. What I'll do is, I kind of perfected it. I'll use this Duplicolor Car Clear. This is number, that's the number. So this goes on and it like glosses your item up. It like really glosses the shit out of your item, but it actually protects your paint. Then as it's starting to dry, not completely dry, what I'll do is I'll go with my matte varnish on top of it and I'll dull it down like crazy. And what'll happen is it'll protect my flesh tone paints, it'll seal it, but this matte varnish will actually dull the paint down. So if you look at the Power Girl I just did recently, it's exactly what I did. I gloss coated it and then I matte varnished it before it's dry. Because if you spray your item down with this and you let it dry completely, your item becomes a candy shell and nothing sticks to it. But if you spray it on while this is semi-khaki, it'll bond to the varnish and it'll get a nice flat coat and it'll seal it. But if you don't want to mess with this and you're not experienced enough with it, you can just go right ahead and put matte varnish over your item and it'll seal it. This stuff is amazing. I recommend this matte varnish to everybody. It's just such an amazing thing. It'll dull down anything. It's really great. The satin varnish is kind of like semi-shiny, and then the gloss is coarse gloss. Now your lacquer, that is a dull coat. Now this stuff is okay for certain things, but if you do a whole like pastel face and you spray this on there too far or too close, I find that it starts to like bleed and crackle up your pastels. So this stuff is good for certain things, but I don't like to use this on skin tones unless I'm blending my skin tone before I do any sealing. So this is kind of something different. So you have to kind of get used to this stuff. But like I always tell people, what works for me may not work for others. So I could just kind of give you what I do. Hey, what's up, butterfly? Alright, there was some weird shit going on over here. I gotta fix that. Seems like a little overspray and it kinda didn't seal. Alright, let's fix it. Alright, so since it didn't seal correctly, I guess maybe there was some dust there and it didn't let the paint stay. That's the only downside with some of the garage kits. If you go to sand stuff and you don't get that dust out of there, then the other paint won't sand because the dust is sitting there. The ideal thing is really never, you know, you always want to paint kits up in pieces and put them together, but a lot of the customs are already together, so I have no choice. that works. So back to doing some more shadows. I always like to slap it on my finger first because sometimes I have a habit of putting too much gunk on the piece. I don't know if you guys have that issue. Now I'm giving her heavy eyeshadow because I figure she's kind of an evil character anyway. I wish he had deeper eye sockets, but... So this is my blush. I bought this years ago, and I bought a few different blushes, but for some odd reason this color is my favorite. And it seems to go on fairly well, so I try to make sure I don't waste it too much. Trying to make it cutesy, I guess. I don't know how well you can see it in the camera. Hey, what's up, Hulk Smash? Hey, Mr. Simsa. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you. It's just fun stuff to do. I don't know how well you guys can see. It's kind of hard to get the eyeshadow just right, only because, like I said, there's no eye sockets there. I am making it darker though. No, I'm just trying to build it out because her face is so, this anime kit, she's so like smooth. And her eyes aren't, and the eye, there's no like, you know, bridges up on the eyebrows and the eye socket, so I'm trying to play with it a little bit. Oh yeah, her picture is this her picture? Yeah, so she is pale, but I'm kind of doing my own thing right now. As far as anime kits go, this is kind of more on the realistic side of anime kit, especially with the face. So I'm kind of going this route with it. Why, you guys think I should do a little bit more of a green tint to her skin? I don't know the character, I'm just going off of that picture there. But I've seen a lot of other artwork on her, and it seemed like she wasn't green. So what do you think, I should do a little bit of a green tint? Hey, what's up, Raccoon? Yeah, I could try a green tint on it and see what happens. Let me get 7 or 9 out of the way. You know what we could do? If you guys want to experiment, I don't mind, because this is kind of a fun kit to do during the stream. What we could try to do is I can seal it with the matte varnish, and we could put a drop of green in it. If you guys want to experiment and see how that works. You know what, we'll put up a poll, since Iceman always reminds me to put up a poll. I don't care. I mean, it's an anime kit. The kit was like, I don't know, what, 40 bucks plus shipping, and we did all the custom work, so it's not the end of the world if it comes out so-so. But there's a poll. You guys let me know if you want to or not. So far we got 50-50. Hangerbird, if you go onto that site, E2046, there's tons and tons of anime kits, and they're not that expensive. It just takes a while for you to get them, that's all. But, you know, like a kit like this, I think I got them back when they were like 40, they might be more now. But I got a few of these like a long time ago. And I've done a couple customs off of it. So they have like anime kits, like, you know, the big-eyed girls and stuff like that. Then they have like a little bit more of the realistic ones like these, you know. I like the more semi-realistic stuff. The anime stuff I'm kind of at. Well, that's cool, Butterfly. Yeah, I'm waiting to get my Trick or Treat kit from them. The one where the girl's sitting on the bench or the stool. I know Raccoon got one too. So that's going to be a fun pinup. Alright, we got 8, what is it? 8 votes. Anybody else want to vote? I'm gonna grab a drink real quick, see if anyone votes in there. Alright, so I guess we're on the poll, so we're going to leave it as is. But what I'll do is I'll show you how I seal it. So this way you guys get a better idea on how I seal. So I'll use this as an experiment. Well, not experiment, just show you how I do it. Yeah, I think the kits are great. I know back in the day there was this whole drama about, you know, recasting and stuff, but honestly, at this point, it doesn't matter anymore. But I did work on the other kit a little bit the other day. So I did do a little bit of sand work on this while I was in the garage the other day, sweating like crazy. So this one's coming along pretty well. So I fixed up the arms, I cleaned up around the body area. So I got to do another sanding on her. And then I got to start building the pool that I'm going to have her stepping in. But the hair pieces connect pretty well. I have to do a little Dremel work for the hair to make this easier, but yeah. So this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a wall, and I'm going to build like steps or a pool, and I'm going to have it look like she's standing in a pool, but we get to see the clear pool in there. So I think that's what I'm going to do with this one. I was gonna do the ocean, but it's more of a pool outfit, so. So what I think we'll do is, before I seal it, we're going to do a little paint on the face. There's two ways of doing it. If you're good enough where you think you won't ruin the skin tone and you don't want to seal it, you could go in there with paint and start painting the lips and everything. But sometimes I like to seal it before I do the lips, so this way I don't ruin it. So, but I think I want to do some of the eyeshadow now, at least the eyelashes. I know. So these are all my fine tip brushes. I'm gonna have to do another run soon because I like to have like a little extra. But I've been going through a few of these lately, so I got to get a few more. Yeah, I've been picking up these lately, which is a Princeton. They were on sale, so I got these at the store. Not too bad. I guess they have some of the teeth showing too. She has darker lipstick, right? Yeah, so we should do sort of a darker red. Actually, it's almost black. But we could do a darker red, why not? Now, her lips are not really sculpted. I mean, they're there, but they're not there. So I'm going to see if I could kind of... It's kind of hard to get comfortable with this weird angle. What kind of figures are cheap on Amazon? I never really looked. Are they anime kits or? Trying to work out these lips a little bit where I can make them a little fuller than what the sculpt is. Digi, are they PVC though? See, the problem with me is if I try to work with PVC, they melt on me when I try to chop them up. That's why I like resin better. Yeah, I've tried PVC in the past and I stopped with it because when I try to chop something up, they just melt. And it doesn't work good for like the Dremel. I like resin because resin kind of just grinds up. I mean, that's just a personal preference, but I know there's a couple guys out there that do PVC customs. And their stuff is really good, so. Come on. Alright, just gotta work on this one side, and I think that should be it. Yeah, I've seen a couple of the guys that do PVC stuff, and they do good. Just that I don't know how the hell they are able to handle the grind on that stuff, but I guess if it works for them. Alright, I think that works pretty good. So for her eyebrows, I will do later. So we're gonna seal it first. So I'll show you how I seal it. Was that Hangerbird? Is that who asked before? Hopefully you're in chat. Alright, let me set this up over here. Alright, so I'm pretty happy with the way I'm at. Eyebrows we'll do later. It's good, I'm pretty happy with where the face is. So I like to get set up before we start spraying. So this is my can of the Duplicolor car paint. Like I said, this is car paint you get at an auto parts store. Whenever you spray, be careful not to just open up the can and spray right away, because you never know if your nozzle's clogged or if it's dripping or wherever. Just be careful when you start spraying it right away. Always spray it like against the back of the wall or whatever you do. Get your duplicate, not the duplicate, get your, where did I put the mat? Alright, so here's the mat. So this is a small area, so you don't have to go too crazy. Now, I find that Mecha Varnish on my fine airbrush will clog it right away. So I try not to use my fine airbrush for the Mecha Varnish stuff. This is my Revolution CR. This is, I think, a 0.5 needle. Now it will clog this up too, only because my needle and my nozzle and everything is super old. I gotta get a new one, so it's kind of like it'll start clogging up there and it won't spray. But if you want, what I like to do is just some of my water, just kind of put a couple drops in there. You don't need to do a lot. This is not a big area, so you don't have to go crazy. Make sure you shake up your Mecha Varnish. Put it in there, swirl it around. If you really want to make sure it's mixed up, get a brush. So just get a brush and just kind of mix it up. Always make sure to spray it first. Make sure you're kind of spraying, because you know what it is I put the water in first. So that'll spray out first, and if you try to spray the water on your clear coat, it messes up. So make sure you got the varnish coming out of there. Kick on your booth. So like I said, make sure you spray this against the back wall or over here. So we're spraying pretty good. So just kind of spray far away a little bit, about 6 inches away. If you spray too close, you'll bleed. If you spray too far away, you'll mist it. So try to get a kind of even flow on there. Now you see I oversprayed the area. I'll kind of explain what you do after later. So we're kind of drying right now. Alright, so we're kind of sitting there drying. You can kind of see it's a little bit glossy. If I wait too long, it'll turn into a candy coat, and if I do it too soon, it's kind of, so we're kind of at that point now where it's alright. So we just take our varnish, so it's a little wet, but we got a basic coat on there. Take your blow dryer. Alright, so the shine is away, and we got a nice seal coat on it, and it kind of gives it a little bit of an extra layer. So if you want to just double check it, you got that basic coat on there. Hit it again with some of the varnish. You don't have to overspray it. Okay, so that is the seal process. So we'll go back over to the other camera. Alright, so you can kind of see it didn't, it's not super glossy anymore, but we got a nice coat on it. So what I like to do is I like to let it sit for a day. I don't really like to say, okay, now I'm going to mask it up and I'm going to go down. I like to let it really just sit. Now, next time I go to paint her, after I mask off the face, but like say I didn't do the lips, you know, or I'm going to do the hair, because there's a layer of paint, then there's a clear coat, and then there's a varnish. Sometimes if you do a little bit of an over paint by accident, and you grab one of your brushes here, if you lick it, you can sort of like get a little bit of an extra erasing it, you know, like kind of clean up your edge a little bit. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So say now next week I go to spray up the other item, so you can kind of see this is a little bit glossy here from the car paint. So what I'll do is I'll mask off the face, and then I'll hit the area with my plastic adhesion promoter. So this will help the gloss paint not take away, like, it'll help bond the paint to that now. Because sometimes if you have a gloss coat, and then you try to paint over that, it doesn't allow the paint to stick. So this will sort of break up that paint and allow you to paint on that. So that's kind of how I seal my faces and skin tone. Hopefully that gives you a better understanding of what I do. So now that I did that, when I go back to do the eyebrows, I'll use my paintbrush and I'll do a little bit of like watercolor to kind of get where it goes, and then I'll harsh paint it, and then I'll pretty much get that on there. But I like to let everything really cure. I don't like to rush my projects. I like to do my skin tone one day, come back another day, start doing the outfit, come back another day, do the hair, and not rush the paint process. And that's kind of the way I do it. When you say overspray, what do you mean? I gotta clean out my airbrush. That stuff will clog them. Oh, okay, yeah, so you mean over here? The reason why I don't do it is because I don't like to try to keep layering and layering and layering too much paint. So I like to keep everything situated here. And then I find that since this is a little bit glossy, if I just hit it with that light coat of that adhesion promoter, it'll just let regular paint go onto it. So the adhesion promoter sort of, it's kind of hard to explain what it does. It just helps bond your paints. So I guess the reason too is the varnish is more of a top coat. It's not really like to do a varnish here, then paint over that, then varnish over that. I try to keep it, I don't know, not too much. But like I said, this is just a little head. So if this was a whole body of a skin tone, it'll be different. But it's really nice and flat. I mean, even in the camera now, maybe it looks a little bit more flat than when I was actually painting it. That the dull coat is just, that varnish is just amazing. But you could do an experiment. If you get the Duplicolor gloss, and if you gloss up your item here, then if you try and paint varnish on it after it's cured, like if you come back like 3 days later, and then if you try to start painting on it, you'll see that that gloss paint will sort of not let you really paint on it, and it could peel off on you. But the adhesion promoter sort of like helped you bond to that gloss. The adhesion promoter is very, very thin. Now you really want to sort of get it on there. Kind of, let's see, do I have an item to show you? Alright, here. Kind of. Alright, so. Alright, so you say you want to paint up, you know, a pre-paint item. So you want to paint up a pre-paint item. If you just paint over it, this stuff is really smooth and it might not stick. If you use this adhesion promoter stuff, what it does is it sort of kind of like breaks it up and it lets paint to it. If you use this varnish on top of this, if you let it dry and then you go back later, you can probably scrape it with your fingernail, or you could probably rub it off with your finger. This won't bond to this too well, but because you did this, and then if you put this on there, it'll bond to it better. This stuff doesn't really bond to like super smooth stuff as well as when I was letting it cure, I guess you could say. If that makes any sense. I know my process is weird, but it works for me. So where I put the base piece over here. Yeah, I guess the other thing too is, so say you're handling an item too. I don't like to wear gloves because I find that having gloves on my hands while I'm painting, I find that the fibers get stuck to stuff and I'm never really handling it the way I want it to. So sometimes if you have a little bit, I like to wash my hands a lot, but if you have sweaty hands or you get grease, on your item, the adhesion promoter also helps bond it. Whereas, like, if you have a lot of, like, oily hands or if you have residue, paint won't bond to it. So I only use a few duplicolor. Well, I'll kind of grab what I use. So now, let me put her aside. Don't fall. So, alright, so whenever I paint, do a custom statue, I use filler primer gray because I love the way this stuff goes on. I love the way this stuff dries, and this stuff is amazing. Now, a lot of people will say, oh, it's filler primer, you're going to lose detail. I've never lost any detail with this stuff ever, unless you were spraying it so damn close it was bleeding. The reason why I have the red is for garage kits, because I find that garage kits like these, the red stays on better. This is for my customs because I can sculpt red onto it and I can see what I'm doing. Adhesion promoter is great. Like, say you get a sideshow statue and you want to repaint it, I find that just spraying it with adhesion promoter and then painting it is fine instead of trying to prime the whole thing. And then I do use some of their blacks of the Perfect Match for stuff. And then their primer sealer. So if I prime, then I primer sealer, and then I gloss coat, then I could do like alclad chrome stuff. So I like Duplicolor the best out of everything. I've tried Krylon, I've tried Rust-Oleum, I've tried Tamiya. I think Duplicolor is the best primer out there. Alright, so she's got sort of natural lips. but still red. She doesn't really have... If you do find duplicate color and you do like it, I suggest buying bulk on Amazon, because the auto stores I'm going to now, they used to be $7 a can. They're almost $20 a can now because of inflation. But if you can order a 6-pack on Amazon, it'll be cheaper. Yeah, one store I went to, it's $20 a can. Another store I went to was $12 a can, but they had none in stock, so I had to order it. Alright, so I'm looking at her face, and she seems to have a little bit more of a redder tint than what I have. Right now it's kind of very bright. So you know what, we'll put this picture. Let me get this picture up. Alright, so for her skin, we're going to change it up a bit. So let me go back here. So now that I got a base coat skin, I'm going to go use some of the P3 formula, because that has a little bit more red into it, which I think it'll work better. Hopefully the camera doesn't go out. Alright, so we're going to use some of the rind flesh. And then where's the other one? I had the other one here a second ago. And then this is the Midland flesh. Kind of cool the way you open it up. They make you do this little twist thing, and then it opens up that way. Yeah, the reason why I got into the duplicate color was an old painter for Bowen Designs. His name was Dan Coop. He recommended duplicate color to me, but then he recommended a Krylon, but I had bad luck with Krylon, so I stuck with the duplicate color. If duplicate color ever goes out of business, I'll go nuts, because I don't have another good primer like that. So this rind flesh, is it rind? R-Y-N? I guess maybe I'm saying it right. So you could do the same thing with this. Put a little water in your cup. Put a couple drops in there. Yeah, the P3 formula color flesh tones is a really nice flesh tone. It's almost like ready out of the bottle. These seem to be almost paint airbrush ready, so. Alright, so this is the Midland flesh. No, it all depends on the process. Most of the time, you see this is just regular gray filler primer. Basically, once this is all smoothed out, I'm ready just to paint. Now, you see how some of my, you know, resin and some of my eaves is showing? It's not the end of the world if some of this is showing and then you paint over it. I've never had a problem where that stuff would come up. As long as most of your item is primed up and it's smooth and it's nice and clean, paint sticks to it. But if you're showing like a lot of resin, then yeah, you really want to get your primer there. But I only use the adhesion promoter when I go with other stuff, or if I want to just paint the sideshow item without priming it, you know. You just gotta get used to the process and used to paints, because sometimes in the past, like if you had a section of resin showing, the paint won't bond to it, and then if you're messing around with it, it comes up. So like say I did a whole sanding here, right, and it was nice and smooth. Instead of going back in there with primer again and then having to buff it out, you can hit it with a little bit of the adhesion promoter and you can get away with painting over that. Adhesion promoter is just kind of like an extra way of kind of getting something done a little bit faster. I'm going to try to add a little of this maroon tint to this skin tone. See what kind of color I get. Yeah, it kind of gave it a little bit of a rosy color, so. Yeah, this is turning to be a little bit better skin than what I had before. Gonna add some more of this maroon. I'm gonna have to find more of this stuff. I really like this maroon color. Yeah, I sculpt my item, I prime it up, I do my wet sanding, or I do my buffing, I get it nice and clean, and then I go to paint. So even though there's some resin and primer Eve showing, it's not the end of the world. I don't think I've ever had an issue where just a little bit of resin or a little bit of Eves is showing and then it causes a hellstorm. You know, as long as your item is clean, you don't have a lot of hand residue on your item, it's pretty much, everything should bond pretty well. Alright, so I think we're going to add a little bit of the raw sienna hue to this color. Alright, so let's save some of this paint here. That's why you gotta get the eye decals. Save your, save the stress. Look at her. She has a little bit of blush on her. So, yeah, I think we're looking good as a base coat now. So let's go over to the other camera. It's a little bit better. So, see what we can do here. So let's grab like I said, I'm not perfect with getting it realistic, but we can sort of so her little dimple in her chin has a little something. Yeah, the Archer transfer decals. I use those all the time. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I don't know if the camera's showing it too well. I'm trying to. Yeah, the studio lights really kill it in the camera. Sorry about that. Let's see. Function. Maybe that helps a little bit with exposure. Trying to give her that little highlighted chin with the little dimple. Now normally I don't do pastels for the lips, but let's see how it looks. She's got a little bit of that natural lip color, so let's hit it with some
probably be a darker.
I think that looks better for her than trying to. Hey, what's up, Creative Collector? How are you today? That's it, just good? I think that looks a little bit better than just trying to force makeup on her. Oh, it is. She got such big lips on the sculpt. I can actually get away with this. Alright, I think the lips are good. Let's see, so she's got a little bit of darkness in her eyes, but not a lot. So let's try this color. Gave her a little bit of bluish brown. So you know what? Yeah, that works. So this is kind of like a little bit of a grayish color. So it's actually This is the P3 Flesh Wash. So I want to try to darken up the inside of the lips a little bit. I think this color might do it. Probably really hard to see, but I added some striations to the lips and my color is all off on the camera. Alright, so let's do some of the eyes. Let's see if So I always mix a gray and white together for the eyes. So you don't want to do pure white, just blowing out the eyes, glowing. So try to get some kind of a bluish gray. And let's grab some. Where's my mahogany? Actually, these are it's the maroon Freak Flex stuff. How'd you do it, Raz? Did you just like fill it up with a circle and go from there? Because I find that I just can't do that. I try, it just never works out. So that's why I use the decals. Ah, well that works. You know, that E2306 site actually sells anime eyes. I actually ordered a few. Waiting for them to come in. Yeah, I never tried them. I just saw that they had them, and I think they were doing like a special with them. So I said, you know what? Let me order a few. See how they work. I mean, they're anime eyes, so they're not realistic. It can't hurt to try it. Alright, so looking at her eyes now. Okay. Man, I wish I was good as those guys that can make every statue look like the actress or actor. But see how far I can go with this one. So let's darken up the eye sockets a little bit more. Try this color. Yeah, you gotta get those commissions done. Gotta stop goofing off. So I'm trying to darken up the eye sockets a little bit and the eyes because it's a little too bright. Yeah, it's we had a couple nice days, and I spent those days in the garage, and then all of a sudden we got the heat again. I tried to work in the garage this morning. It was just way too hot. So I said, screw it. I need a day of just painting. I'm starting to like this, starting to come together. At least on my, for me, in front of me. Yeah, she could have been a great Catwoman. Actually, you're right. Why, were they supposed to use her for a Catwoman role or something? I used to watch the show Leverage. It was out a few years ago. She was actually in like season 3, like 2 and 3. She was actually good in that show. If you ever get a chance, watch Leverage. She was in there. Got a while before you see her in that movie. What is that, like a year out? Or like a year and a half out? Honestly, I'm actually more excited to see what Discovery's doing with DC now, because it seems like they're gonna do everything from scratch, and it's gonna be completely like Marvel. So actually, that seems way more interesting to me. So I'm not interested in any of the Marvel stuff. Most of it that's coming out is kind of like, I don't care for it. Alright, I think we got that. Yeah, I was watching, what is it, Doomcock's latest video, Overlord DVD. He talked about the inside rumors to DC. And if it's all true, I'm excited, because it seems like Black Adam is going to be now the Thanos of DC. Was it Henry Cavill is going to be Superman again. And I think that's awesome, because you can. Now, I'm not a fan of The Rock. I can't stand him being in every single movie, the same exact acting thing, but to see Black Adam versus Superman in an all-out brawl, that would be awesome. So that to me sounds like it's going to be a really fun DC stuff. Yeah, I think this DC reboot is going to be good. I think they're going in the right direction because you got Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman. That's your big three. They're some of the most iconic characters in history. Like, why aren't you using them? Alright, I think I'm pretty good with that. Alright, so we're going to seal this one now. Same way we did before. Eyes are going to be tricky on her. It's very hard for me to capture actresses or actors' eyes, but let's see what we can do. Yeah, the whole Flash movie, I have no faith in that. I think they're going to axe that too, which I honestly don't care. I never really liked him as Flash anyway, because Barry Allen is supposed to be a father figure. He's supposed to have those dad jokes. Wally West is kind of more of the wise ass. And then you got Bart Allen, who is just completely, like, has no attention span whatsoever. So each Flash has a specific, like, personality, but they just didn't do that with these movies. I don't understand. And that's because I'm a Flash fan. I love the Flash family, you know. And you got Jay Garrick, who's like the wise grandfather type. Well, hopefully the DC fixes it all, and I think they are. I think they're gonna fix it all, and it's gonna be a lot better than what it is. So I'm excited. Because I mean, honestly, I don't want to watch Batgirl and I don't want to watch Supergirl. I want to watch the big three, but then you can start bringing in the Justice League, and then you can start bringing in the JSA. You know, do like Marvel did, bring them all together. And then start branching out to all the other characters. Don't just like kill them off and shoehorn in another character. Everybody wants to see the big three. But then you can have like the JSA, then you can have the Flash movie, the Aquaman, you know, the Teen Titans and stuff like that. Honestly, if you just watch the animated Warner Brother movies, those things are, I mean, even though they're sort of like alternate versions of the main universe, they're done so damn well. Well, when I say JSA, I want to see Jay Garrick, Power Girl, Green Lantern, oh god, what's the other Yeah, it depends on which JSA team you want, but I want the old school character JSA team, you know? Especially Jay Garrick. I think, even though Jay Garrick was in the TV show, I think if they got a really good Jay Garrick actor and they have a good, you know, director, he would be a cool character. Oh yeah, Dr. Fate. Never was a fan of Dr. Fate, but you know, like the old school Booster Gold, Blue Beetle. I don't know. There's just DC has so many damn characters, and I actually like DC almost more than Marvel because I like X-Men and cosmic characters, but they don't put in the characters I like. So hopefully DC gets their act together. Alright, we're gonna seal like I did before. Matte varnish. The duplicolor. This we're just gonna go matte varnish out of the bottle. Make sure I pump up there. Long way. Okay. Yeah, Peacemaker was great. Shazam, you know what it is? I like what they did with Shazam, but I would rather them focus on Shazam. I'm not really a fan of the whole family of Shazam. I never really cared for that in the comic books. But it doesn't matter. That's all going to be rebooted under the new DC anyway, so I don't really, you know, it's going to change up, so, which is fine. Well, they were making a Green Lantern show for HBO Max, but that's got canceled too. So, Batgirl's canceled, Green Lantern's canceled. I think they just said Gotham Knights is canceled. They're redoing everything. They're completely going back to making money and making good quality stuff. None of this Elseworld, other characters no one cares about. Well, I shouldn't say no one cares about. I'm sure people care about them, but it's not going to make them the money that they want. Yeah, I mean, I'm actually, if DC does it right, from the rumor is that Black Adam is going to be the reboot of the DCU. So supposedly Superman comes in at the end, and then from there they're going to redo it all, which is fine. I think they just need better actors that portray the actual personality of the characters in the comics, and I think they would do fine. Yeah, I know Darkseid is more of a Thanos. I agree with you there, but I think at this point they have to salvage what they got. I mean, DC Warner Brothers screwed up everything. Nothing was uniformed. Everything was all over the place. So, if anything, they can start off with Black Adam, and then they could go into like the Injustice League, and then maybe Darkseid comes in at the end. You know. So they can actually build up to that, you know? Because if you think about it, in the Marvel Universe, they did Thanos, but then they could build up to Galactus, you know? Or they can build up to... Now they're focused on, what's his name? Kang, you know? So they can sort of build up to Darkseid if they really wanted to. Because Superman could, like, get the Justice League together... And then they can build up the JSA, and then they can bring in Darkseid and have everybody go after him. Nah, at this point I could care less about Doomsday. They ruined all that. So right now I think they need to focus on Black Adam, and they could bring in the Injustice League, you know, they could bring in like Reverse Flash, Lex Luthor, Gorilla Grodd, or any of those other characters, you know. The Batgirl I think is shelved for good. I think that's been locked and keyed, and I don't think we'll ever see it. Maybe we'll see it down the line on like online somewhere, but I don't know. Fangirl, if you actually read the rumors of what they were going to do the Michael Keaton's Batman, you'll probably be happy that you didn't see it. Because from what I heard, what they were going to do with Michael Keaton's Batman was a complete and total mess. Like, why would you bring him in just to completely ruin the character? So... And I think that's why they got rid of Batgirl movie, because what they did to him in that movie is, I heard, is just horrible. So... from what I understand, they were going to kill him off, but they weren't even going to have it like... It was going to be like Rey from Star Wars all over again. You know, like Rey picks up the lightsaber and she's automatically a Jedi? Well, supposedly the Batgirl just puts on a uniform and she's Batgirl. And they kill off Michael Keaton's character. That's what I heard. Like, if you're bringing back Michael Keaton and you're gonna do that whole Batman Beyond, you gotta just bring the A-game. Like, he should be the mentor of her if you want to do that, you know? I don't understand this stuff where these characters just put on an outfit or get a lightsaber and they're just automatically, you know, they're the best character ever, you know? There's no trial and tribulation to become that character. But that's the rumors. Yeah, I think that would be the perfect Michael Keaton Batman. You know, he's just that old guy and he's training. I don't care if they want to make Batgirl. Fine. You want to train a new Batgirl, that's fine. But you can't just kill him off. Just because you want to shoehorn another character in there. Yeah, I guess so, Raccoon, but I want to see the build-up to the character. I want to see the, you know, when they start out, how they become that character, you know, what they have to go through. I mean, you don't have to make 50,000 movies on it, but at least something. You know what it is these, my opinion is they didn't utilize these old actors for what they could have made some amazing movies, but they wasted their opportunities and it's too late. All these people are getting too old. You can't put them in the movies anymore. So it's just wasted opportunity. But that's okay. Well, Iceman, it's also the writers. There's a lot of these new writers that are that just don't know the characters. They just come in and like, well, you know, I think Flash should be this now. That's not what Flash is. You know, he's got 30 years or so of history. He's been written a specific way. You just don't come in and say, well, I feel he needs to be changed now. No, that's just not how it's done. But that's alright. They got to start from scratch, and hopefully Discovery really bring... I hope Discovery also changes DC Comics. I hope they don't get rid of comics, but I hope they bring comic books back the way they used to be. Because I miss reading comics, I really do. Yeah, Raccoon, that's kind of the way it goes now. I don't know. That's why I like going to the comic book shows now and finding old books. Been really collecting up a lot of the old All-Star comics with Power Girl. Picking up some old stuff from the 70s, 60s and shit. So I'm actually having fun. Hopefully the Rippaverse ISOM starts shipping soon. I also got the downloaded Jaeon Lee's GUMMA Kickstarter book. So I got those 3 issues. I got to read them this weekend. So I got a couple indie stuff coming, so I'm excited to read this stuff. Yeah, oh well, I don't know, we'll see what happens. But I think that's where I'm going to call it today, guys. I'm pretty much tapped out. I'm happy with this, though. I think she's looking pretty decent. I know we got a hell of a reflection in there. But once I add all the other elements, it should come together. But thanks for stopping by, guys. Have a good weekend. Hopefully you learned some stuff, and hopefully I answered some questions and it didn't be too boring. But I'm going to get on Patreon on Sunday. I'm going to try to start getting all those Harley Quinn stuff together, so hopefully we can start voting on that stuff pretty soon as well. But have a good weekend, guys. Been great talks, and hopefully we'll see you next week.